Record. Hey, shut up. Record, broadcast. What's up, motherfuckers? Sookie, come here. We don't need the barking. Get up here. Get up here. Lay down. Hey, lay down. Punch you in the nose. Urgh. What's up, motherfuckers? I thought I'd be on a couple minutes earlier. I haven't eaten since breakfast, so I was trying to throw down a little bit of pizza. I got SmackDown on mute, even though I really haven't seen it, because apparently it seems Dean Ambrose is is getting beat up by Seth Rollins. Curb stomp. He's gonna miss. No, he fucking hit it. Oh, that fucker. And I got the fights from last week on my computer. The UFC Ireland, I did not see it yet. I did see the McGregor fight. I went out of my way to watch that one, but I haven't seen the rest. And so far, they've been pretty good. This is the third fight, which I think goes to a decision. We're in the second round just started. But the first two were pretty good. I tell you what, man. You know, I got it on mute now, but those Irish fuckers are loud. And from right out of the gate, the very first fight on Fight Pass, they were going crazy. I guess they don't treat it over there like they do over here, where it's not cool to show up for, you know, the young guys and people no one knows. You just come for the last, the main card, which I don't get. I mean, some of those fights are expensive. I mean, the cheap seats are $100 a pop for something coming up. What is it, 178 or something like that? Maybe it's the Weidman Belfort one that was just announced, which we'll talk about. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it was really impressive. I think they broke a record. Where's my notes? Where the fuck are my notes? Oh, you dog! You put them on the floor. Sookie, bad dog. How dare you? As you don't respond because you've never been called a bad dog, you suck-ass dog. Yeah, didn't they? They had like some fucking. Where is it? Maybe I didn't know it. They broke some record for. It was the loudest UFC event ever. It was like it peaked at. Excuse me. It peaked at like 111 decibels, I think is what it was, and that's not even there were only 9,000 people there. That's not even a really big crowd. For a UFC fight, for like some of the UFC 100 and 148 and things like that. They have more than that, and that's pretty damn impressive how loud they were. And yeah, I was talking about it earlier. They have that Irish pride, man. They get it right too. The first guy fighting was an Irish guy, and they went nuts for him. Who was that? Let me see. Let's talk about those two since I've seen them. Patrick Houlihan beat Josh Sampo in that rear naked choke. That was just a fun. Actually, both the first two fights were really fun. And then Nikita Krylov beat Cody Donovan by punches right at the end. I think Donovan was trying to, and he was looking good too. I think he was trying to coast. He probably heard the 10-second, whatever the fuck it is, little wood pieces coming together. He said, "Well, fuck, let me just get out of this," because, I had him, even though I'm a little bit inebriated, I had him winning the round up to that point. So now this one, is this Thor? Thor looks different to me. That's Thor, isn't it? Yeah, Thor's not looking too good. I think he loses. Let me see here. Yeah, Trevor Smith beat Thor Trung, or Tor. I like Thor because that's what he was on the show. And then we'll get to the rest of them as we advance through this fight card. How many decisions are there? 2. There's 3 decisions, so I might have to skip. Well, shit, I don't want to skip the Ian McCall fight because I like Ian McCall. He's usually pretty fun. What the fuck do I want to skip through? What was fight of the night? Cathal Pendred and Mike King. So that's the next fight. I don't want to skip that. Conor Gunnar Nelson was the second to last. Maybe I'll skip Neil Seary fight. I'll watch that later. And you know what? I might skip the rest of this Thor fight too because he's not looking so good. And by the way, I'm gonna eat this last piece of pizza at some point. So yeah, you're gonna hear that shit. How do I go to the next fight? I'm skipping this shit. He's getting pummeled. I'll come back to it later. Where's the start of the fight? Tail the tape, round 1 start. Okay, let's go to the next fight. All right, well, Thorstrong, lost a pretty bad one. Oh, this is the one with the sketchy rear naked choke ending. But anyway, yeah, I mean it's pretty impressive. So last Saturday, what was I doing? Because this was on at like 3 o'clock or some shit. I was at my boss's lake house. They have a big thing called Lake Fest every year, and they have people come over on Saturday and kind of just a small gathering of friends and family. And yeah, I am actually friends with my boss because I was friends with him before I started working with him. But yeah, I was doing that, which isn't really my cup of tea, but it was fun. It was a nice little day. So all I've seen is the McGregor fight. I haven't had a chance to watch anything else. I'm trying to think if anything happened at the lake. I don't think there was anything substantial. I did get a sunburn, which I think Diver told me to post a picture of it. It looks like Mick Jagger kissed my forehead because I was wearing my hat backwards. So I just have that red mark on my fucking forehead, and then a red line from the rest of the hat going around behind my ears. It wasn't my best moment. I actually thought about having fun with it and flipping my hat around so it looked like a laser shot through my head, but I didn't do it. But that's what I was doing Saturday. I don't even remember Sunday. It's been a busy fucking week at work. I got my new phone, got my S5, which I wanted to fucking talk to that bitch Diver. He's having a mandate with the Indian. They're probably holding hands and doing inappropriate things. But because he's got an S5, and I got a couple questions for him. But I think I figured it out. We already fucked around about it a little bit. It's a great phone. Okay, I really like this phone. I'm coming from a Droid Bionic, which is fucking 3 years old or so. So it's a huge step up. I am not super thrilled with the autocorrect. Perfect example when I was texting Diver earlier. You know what? Let's see. This is how the words came out. Where is it? I'm looking. Okay. Dan as shoe. That was supposed to be damn asshole. Okay. Puss was supposed to be pussy. Cut is where it came up. It was what it came up with for cunt. Dick it kept. Okay. It's okay to say dick apparently. I guess they're going with the private investigator aspect of it. Penis turned into pens. You can't even say penis. This is the one that doesn't make sense. Vagina was turned into vaginal. So one is bad and one is okay. Labia was fine. Nipple was fine. Titties turned into... I literally just typed all this shit out just to see what would come up. Titties was turned into tittle. And then I called him a cum bucket. And that turned into cumulative bucket. That's a really big autocorrect on that one. And then he texted it all back because apparently I was making him laugh. And I said, that's my fucking autocorrect, which it turned to rocking. So the autocorrect, I'm going to need to learn about this autocorrect and see if there's like... I know my old phone used to have like a bad word. Oh shit. What do you got there? Are you going to try to switch that into an armbar? Or are you going to try to stick with... No? That's a weird way to pull off a Kimura. No, he's going to the armbar. Okay, nope, and he's out. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I was distracted. I was distracted by watching Cathal Pendred almost get armbarred. I would imagine the fucking crowd is loud as shit right now too, because he's huge over there. I think this was his first UFC fight. I actually have seen him fight once or twice on a couple of the Irish cards, I guess, or European cards or whatever. I should probably stop looking at my phone as much and look at the fights. But anyway, yeah, I need to figure out that shit. I need to figure that out. But so let's as we get into the week, since I can't really recap last week's fight because I'm still watching them. Let's move on with the week. We had this thing called the Nevada State Athletic Commission hearings. Okay. Now I'm trying to do something here too. The big ones were obviously Chael and Vitor. Okay, and I would imagine if you're listening to this quote-unquote show, if you're listening to what I try to pass off as a show, you're aware of it. You probably even heard it. Here's the deal, and I took a couple notes, and they're a little bit out of sync somewhat. I was at work. And I just finished it today. It took me like 3 days to even get through it, just because of different things that were happening at work, and I couldn't just sit there and just listen to it all. But some things that I thought were interesting. We're going to talk about Anthony Marnell a little bit. I don't think anyone's listening, so I don't think the UFC is ever going to hear about it. But I'm actually going to play a little bit of it. I'm loading it up right now. Hopefully I'm not breaking up or anything like that while web pages load. Let me log in, and then I can pause it because I want to play a little bit of what the commission said. Especially this Anthony Marnell guy. But let's start with Vitor. Vitor, I did not have as easy of a time watching the Vitor hearing, just because of all the shit that that was going on. Mute you. I need to skip to like maybe here. But here's what I picked up from the Vitor, because like I said, I took a couple notes just because I knew I wouldn't fucking remember it. Everyone knows that shit if you listen to this show. I think we actually have, by the way, a handful, like maybe 10 listeners, it seems, from what I'm gathering. So woohoo, we're moving up in the world. And thank you. I don't know what the fuck you're doing listening to me, but hopefully you don't really kill yourself like the MMA enthusiast does every week, which he hasn't done that in a while. He might have to die tonight. Vitor was in there trying to get a license, and of course we have that drug test which we talked about with Dr. Chrysler a couple months ago. Here's the deal. This is what I picked up from it. Okay, he's not the best reader, and a lot of people were goofing on him for it. Even Diver texted me. I think he said it's on my old phone, so I don't feel like going to look at it. But it was something like he sounds like he's in elementary school or something like that. But I got to give him credit. He's been getting fucking hit in the head for who knows how long. He's been doing this since the early days. So there's that, and the fact that he at least speaks English, didn't need a translator or anything. I mean, he's not a dumb guy. So I got to give him a little bit of props to that. I mean, shit, you can't goof on Vitor's, oh, fuck it, logged me out of the Fight Pass over there because I logged in over here. Oh, I didn't see that coming. You fucking devils, the UFC. Even WWE lets you log in on 2 devices at once. Fucking A. Alright, well, let's what do I do? Should I go to the Chael part, or should I just fucking go back and put the fights back on? Let's put the fights back on, okay? We're going to come back to this one because I didn't know that was going to happen, and I want to finish watching some of these fights. And I'm talking about Vitor right now anyway. We'll deal with the other later. Is this going to fucking load back up where it was, or what's going to happen? No, mute this. Now I'm going to get fucking sued or some shit. Alright. Mute. I think I got to go forward, 4 fights or something? Who is this? Walk out for Thor. Yeah, so the next one's Cathal, and I need to go to round 2. Okay. Alright, anyway. So I can't bust on the guy too much. He did okay. We already talked about his drug test, and that was pretty fucking crazy. Um, he he started breaking down, and I'm not fully sure why. I don't, who knows what's real and what's not. And really, that's with all fighters, especially if you're in fucking trouble. I mean, who knows if it's real or not? I'll assume it was real, and he was emotional because he loves fighting and really wants to fight Chris Weidman or Weidman, however you want to say his name. I'll assume that that's real. Okay. But you got to kind of hold it together. I guess he tried to, if that was a true emotional reaction. He talked about that he was taking shots twice a week, and apparently he was traveling. I don't know where he failed the drug test or anything else. I don't know. But he said he was traveling, and because he was traveling, he could only take one shot of TRT that week. And it was the day before he took the test, and because it was one shot that particular week, it was a bigger dosage, which is why his levels were pretty high. That's why his levels were so high. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't. And I don't know what the solution to TRT is either. I don't think banning it is the solution. I think it needs to be regulated much more strictly. And it's a good time to do it based on how many young people there are. And there's not too many big guys coming over from Japan anymore like they were in the Pride days. Because back in Pride, they didn't have drug tests and all that shit for steroids. Matter of fact, somebody, who was it? Was it Mizu? No, who the fuck was it? Somebody just released a copy of their Pride contract, the bout agreement for Pride, and it specifically stated that they won't test for steroids. Sorry, I'm just going to fucking punch my microphone and try to make you guys go deaf. But, yeah, so they literally didn't even test for steroids. It's not that that's a huge surprise. I think that's something everybody knew. This is a good scrap, this Cathal Pendred fight. That's a fun fight. I bet the crowd's going fucking crazy. I might watch this again just to hear the crowd. But anyway, there's no one coming up from Pride. Everyone knew that there was stuff. Shit, look at Vanderlei. That right there should be your biggest, easiest way to determine about steroids in Japan. Look at how fucking tiny he got. Go on Fight Pass and look. I'm sure they got some of his old Pride shit on there. Go watch his old Pride shit and then look how small he is now. Well, maybe not now because apparently he's back on the juice. I don't fucking buy. And I don't know why he wasn't on this fucking thing either. He was supposed to get a sentence at this hearing, and for some reason he didn't. I don't know what that was all about. Maybe they're trying to work with the UFC to build up ratings. But yeah, so yeah, so Vitor said he won't fight before his fight with Weidman that he had been offered, and he will only fight in Las Vegas. The commission started talking about his legacy. There was that fast-ass chokeout. Hold on. How long was that? Maybe word on the street is right. That was, I don't know, man. That's a weird one. I mean, who knows? That's a tough one to tell. That was a really fast chokeout, and it didn't look like the guy's bicep was quite under the chin enough to cut off the other carotid, but what do I know? I don't know. I don't like saying fights are works, but I do know that it happens sometimes, and it's a fact. It's just how sports goes. Look at some of the judging and shit that we've seen. There's crookedness in sports, or in combat sports. Well, fuck, there's crookedness in all kinds of sports. But anyway, so Vitor, he's got to pay for multiple random drug testings. Now, I will say this Anthony Marnell guy, and he's going to come up more during Chael. This Anthony Marnell guy, who was a real tough guy, bad boy, with Chael, and was really acting like a dick to Chael. I don't know if Chael, banged his wife or what. I mean, it was really fucking... It was just... wow, why are you being such a shithead to him? But he was. I'm skipping to the next fight. As for Vitor, he made one comment during Vitor. Okay, just one. and that comment was talking about what they were talking about. Vitor is going to be tested, at an okay, basically appropriately, not some crazy amount of testing. And he's like, I want to just clarify what everyone means by when they're talking about appropriate. Oh, I don't want to see the Neil Siri fight. Hold on, skip to the Ilir Latifi fight. I'm going to skip the Neil Siri fight. I didn't realize that was what was next. All right, let's go to fucking Ilir Latifi, who's fucking people up these days. He's done pretty well for himself. But he started talking about, he's like, what do you consider okay? An okay amount of testing. Just so we're clear, because as far as I'm concerned, we're going to test you till the day you retire. And I think that was a quote. We're going to test you, random testing till the day you retire, which Vitor has to pay for. That's all he said for the Vitor hearing. I didn't hear him. I wasn't watching it. I more listened to it. But, I think I got his voice at this point. I didn't hear him at all. That was the only thing he said. Now, then we skip forward a little bit. A couple of people got their license. A couple of people stole some cars while they were smoking weed or some shit. Mayweather's trying to make some moves. And I tell you what, speaking about the Mayweather thing, I kind of expected more from his spokesperson as far as being able to speak. Mayweather's got a lot of money, and maybe the guy's really a really good business guy, because he didn't blow me away as far as speaking to the commission goes. But I've never seen the guy. Maybe that's just how he is. I have no clue. But they seem to love Mayweather. And then they, a couple other little things came up, and then we got to the main event, and we got to Chael, who they had a district attorney there for. I don't remember hearing a district attorney for Vitor or for anyone else. The only one, I guess, maybe they only do it for cheating type stuff. I just didn't hear it for Vitor, and I didn't hear it for anyone else. But they had one for Chael. If they had one for other people, fuck if I know. And here's the deal. I got a couple quotes. One quote, I think from the DA. He said, a great penalty is needed here for the safety of the athletes. Now let's keep in mind, Chael's retired. Okay? What are we talking about as far as safety of the athletes goes? But that's another story. I also want to talk about something else when we get there too. But, damn. Ehlers throws some oh shit. Oh, that was a weird knockout. Hold on. That looked like more of a weird thing to me than that. What the hell happened? How did he get knocked out? There's that shot. Maybe he was wobbly. Was he out before the takedown? When did he get knocked out? Alright, that was a weird knockout. That Ilir Latifi knockout was very strange. I'm not even sure how that happened. That was different. Alright, close that. Let me go to the main card. But anyway, that was a quote. And I don't understand. Okay, everyone's talking about how, they even mentioned it. You had a fight lined up. You had a fight lined up. You had a fight lined up. I'm not making excuses for Chael. Okay? But I don't like the fact that the guy who is retired got his ass handed to him, basically. And then the guy who's not retired, who is a known offender. Chael's never been an offender for this before. And I feel like I heard reference to that during the hearing, too. Like, this wasn't Chael's first failed substance test. Well, yeah, it was. The thing that happened with the Anderson Silva, he didn't get in trouble for taking tests, for having high levels. He got in trouble for not disclosing it to the commission properly. So I feel like that's kind of a shitty thing to throw in there, like he has a long history of this. He doesn't. He was on testosterone. He'd been licensed other places. What's his name? The old fighter who used to manage him. I can't think of his name. I'm looking at his fucking face, his head. But anyway, he fucked up. So I just don't think it's fair. And Chael's hearing, by the way, was an hour and a half for a retired guy. Vitor's hearing to get licensed was 25 minutes. Okay, so that seemed a little bit odd, but let's talk a little bit more about Chael. And I might have to come back to a little bit of it just so I don't have to fucking keep going back and forth on the Fight Pass stuff, since apparently I can't fucking be logged in. I might skip the McCall fight, actually, is what I might do. That's fucking annoying that I can't have it on two at once. But anyway, they talked about he was getting 3 different meds from 3 different doctors, which I'll give him as a little bit sketchy. But, you know, who knows? I don't fucking know how doctors prescribe different things like that. I don't go to the doctor. Like, I got my first physical in almost 20 years earlier this year. So it's just not something that I do. But it didn't seem fair to me that they were busting on him so bad and coming down so hard on him when he's retired. And they made this Marnell guy, okay? I'm fucking eating some pizza too, so you're gonna hear some chewing. Maybe I should put on a music and have a quick break, put on Slip Capone, but I'm not gonna, because I'm dedicated to being unprofessional. You know what? Technically, you're the one who's being rude, anyone who's listening and not eating, because if one person's eating, you're supposed to eat too. And it's just kind of fucked up if you're not. Hey dog, I love you, but get out of my face. So, I don't know, maybe I'll fucking stop Fight Pass shit for a minute, and or the fights, and let's go to the Chael thing. Because really, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on anyway, because my ass is getting sleepy as shit. That's why I'm on so early. It's only 9:30. I'm fucking tired. Favorites. Recent NSA commission hearing. Login. What were the things I wanted to... so here's one. So... let's talk... Here's one real quick. Chael was basically offered a job, which I'll play that little mark. You know, not very many people can go in facing, what, a $2.5 million fine and walk out with a fucking job, basically. So what were the times? 3:16 is the time. This is when Marnell was talking shit. Let's unmute this.
Disclose some of the things that were found.
What does this go back? Go back. I thought it only went back 10 seconds. No, not to the fucking beginning. I wanted to go back 10 seconds. Oh, oops, wrong button.
I would happily disclose some of the things that were
back.
Oh, I
back. Be patient, ladies and gentlemen.
Today to come as
be patient.
Could have a big difference on my comments anyway when we deliberate.
Yeah, here's Marnell talking. I can hear his little bitch ass voice. Where the fuck was this tough guy when Vitor was
at the 100% level?
Back.
That we should know about before we...
This guy talks about baseball later too, talking about how he's a professional athlete and he was a fucking minor league baseball player.
I'll just say it bluntly. It looks like it's all a big pile of deception to try to accomplish a goal through multiple doctors that may not know what the other doctor is doing, even though they all kind of have a similar strain. So we're is there anything we didn't catch, or anything else that we should know about before we deliberate that we should know? Because I think honesty right now at the 100% level, not 99 or 95, could have a big difference on my comments anyway when we deliberate.
Yeah, I think that's right, and I have a goal today to come as clean as I can, as quickly as I can.
Okay.
With that said, no, I do not believe that there's anything else. I would happily disclose some of the things that were found. Were surprised that those were banned substances. I want to pick my words carefully here because, again, I'm guilty, and I'm sorry, and I do not want to offer defense at all. But to converse with you on this, I don't believe I took anything else outside of a sleep aid called Ambien. I take a pretty good amount of vitamins.
Let me ask you this question then, outside of the drug world, because I see this as cheating. I agree with Commissioner or Chairman Aguilar. Is there anything else that we don't know about yet that one day we're going to find out about?
No. I've always been a square. I've never tasted alcohol. I never. I don't know if that's what you meant. You said outside,
anything. I'm just asking the general question. If we're coming clean.
Anything else?
I'm just curious if there's anything. If the answer is no, then it's an easy no, and we can move on. If there's anything else that you want to get off your chest, then now would be a good time.
That's a very nice platform. Thank you. No, I don't believe so. I've been a pretty open book. All right, thank you.
What the fuck was he getting at there? First of all, I will say, I swear, Chill said he's never had a drop of alcohol. I might believe that. I swear there's a video of him and Eddie Bravo, and they're both pretty fucked up. And I think that's what the video is called, too, is Chill Son and Eddie Bravo are high. I haven't seen it in a while. Maybe I'm remembering it incorrectly, but I remember something being there. Maybe, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, that's really fucking rude of me. Maybe I'll try to pull that up in a little bit. But, I mean, what was he getting at? I mean, here's the deal. When my nephew went to confession, his first confession, the way the story goes, and I say that because the person who told it to me, which was his dad, wound up not being a very reliable source for things. But the way the story goes is he went in for confession, and the thing of it is, both my nephews and my niece are like really, really good kids. They really don't do anything wrong. They're the ones who, perfect example, they're not allowed to watch a TV show. I remember my nephew, there was a show called Ed, Edd and Eddy, and the oldest one, Chinese's, came outside, like everyone was inside watching Ed, Edd and Eddy. And he came outside because he's like, oh, they're watching Ed, Edd and Eddy, and I'm not allowed to. That's, they're good kids. Wow, where the hell was I going? Maybe I shouldn't do what I was about to do. What the hell was I was going somewhere with that. Oh, confession. He went into confession. The priest said, do you have anything to confess? And he's like, no. He's like, well, you haven't done anything wrong? And he's like, no. I haven't really done. Your parents haven't yelled at you for anything? No. You haven't skipped out on any chores? No. Because he doesn't. He does what he's supposed to do. It's like he's trying to guilt him, or like, what are you trying to do? Like with all the questioning with Chael, it's really weird. I don't know I don't know if Marnell's trying to jump up into something bigger, and he sees Chael as his meal ticket versus Vitor, and maybe that's why he was quiet for Vitor. I don't fucking know. But it was really weird. So the things that I did pick up a little bit, and I tried to write a couple notes down. I think we talked about some of this. He got busted for clomiphene, which is anti-estrogen medication. It counters the acts of estrogen. Okay, and it's pretty common when you're coming off of TRT. It can be a masking agent, but it's also very common. So is HCG, and that was what Chael failed his first test for. Those are normal. That's something that happens. You go on those drugs to get your testosterone levels normal out and get your testosterone producing the way it should without the medication. Now, I wrote some of this down. I paid better attention at certain times than others. The commission started questioning if Chael cheated or not. I don't know why they're questioning whether he cheated or not. Regardless of if he cheated and he took these drugs because he was trying to get an edge on a fight that he didn't have lined up, by the way. That's the other thing. They kept talking about, well, you were scheduled to fight. You had a fight lined up. No, he didn't. When he failed the first one, which is when he got busted for the drugs that you take after you stop TRT, he had a fight lined up. after that first test, okay, they came back and retested him. And as far as I know, if I understand things correctly, and maybe I don't, but if I understand things correctly, he failed the test and then was tested again, and that's when he got busted for the HGH, etc. But the thing of it is, he failed the exact same test that Vanderlei failed. So, as far as he knows, the Vanderlei fight is off, and he doesn't have a fight lined up right now. Vitor wasn't really a possibility yet because no one expected no one could believe Vitor got a license. I still don't know how that happened. That has to be money driven, and that's probably why Vitor's saying, "I won't fight anywhere else but Nevada." Well, of course you won't fight anywhere else but Nevada, because you're trying to get them money and they're giving you a license. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. That's just, it's ridiculous how this ended up. But he tested positive for anastrozole, which is typically used to treat breast cancer. So that's not a good one. And then HGH. Oh no, I'm sorry. Anastrozole is similar to clomiphene, and it's also used to treat breast cancer. It can be a masking agent as well, but those are the more practical uses. The HGH, I got nothing to say about the HGH. Now this is the one where he, as far as if I understand correctly, he didn't have a fight lined up. He might have just said, "Fuck it, I'm going to take some fucking HGH and put on some muscle because I'm not going to get tested." Maybe he had already retired in his mind. I don't know. I don't know how far this goes. But the fact of the matter is, regardless of anything else, same with the EPO, regardless of anything else, he said he did it. Why are we debating about whether or not he cheated? He's already admitted to cheating. It's just, what's the point in coming out and continuously saying, well, did he use it to cheat? Did he do this? Why did he do it? He's already said he did it because he cheated. He's admitted everything he's made. He said, "I make no mistakes." He said he didn't know that those things were banned. I don't know. I'll have to take that means he didn't know. Maybe he needs another new management. It doesn't seem like it would be that hard for a fighter to be prescribed medicine from a doctor, and the doctor at the Athletic Commission, Dr. Trainer, I think is his name, which is a weird name, he said, anyone can call me at any time, say I'm not thinking about, my doctor wants me to take these drugs, can I take it? And he would say if they're allowed to take it or not. That's a pretty nice phone call to make if you're a fighter and you rely on this stuff. Especially if you're a younger fighter who hasn't made the amount of money that Chael made. He was facing a $2.5 million fine. That's a shitload of money. But he probably could have come up with the money. I'm not saying it's not going to hurt him, but I would imagine he's got millions. So it's one of those things that I just think is crazy how it went down. Now, he wound up getting, actually, let's skip to that. So the DA recommended, when it comes down to sentencing, the DA recommended no fine, but recommended a 2-year suspension. Okay. Let's play a little bit here. Where's 330? Where do I want to go? 332. 332 is when he's offered a job. I don't know when the DA said that. I just know that it was said, and I heard it and I wrote it down. Let's try to go to this 332 and see what this is.
Hopeful that we could utilize his...
Oh, this is when he's offered a job.
Even from
go back. Fucking go in facing a $2.5 million fine. You're recommended a lifetime ban, which we'll get to for Marnell dickhead. And then you wind up with a job offer. That's boss.
Ice.
That's pretty boss.
Disappointed that we're in this position, Mr. Sonnen. I'm hopeful that I presume that we can ask Commissioner Lumble to help craft our motion, but I'm hopeful that we could utilize his, even from that date when I believed in him, I still believe in his capabilities. And there may be an opportunity for this commission to effectively utilize his ability to assist the commission.
The commission likes
Chael.
Except one guy.
we can't ruin the poor fellow's reputation with all his colleagues, but an educational service to the commission to assist us in how we communicate through our executive director to all of our applicants and licensees. I see Mr. Ratner here. It's been a very big...
Chael's not the only one who has said he doesn't understand things. Chael even pointed out Demetrius Johnson doesn't know what's on the ban list. He just doesn't take anything because you can't keep up with it. There's too many fucking drugs that you're not... I mean, fuck, weed is banned. There's one fighter who makes weed look like a PED. And it's, what's his name? He just fought like, what's his name? He just fought. Pat Healy. He's the only guy I've ever seen who makes weed look like a PED. But you're not allowed to take weed, although they relaxed on that a little bit. I'm sure Marnell's going to want to change that little dickhead.
Problem for a long period of time. And Mr. Mersch is here. We've all made an effort to communicate it, but still we have licensees that either don't understand it or are just cheats, one of the two. So I just only have those comments, Mr. Chairman, for your
Thank you.
assistance.
Commissioner Marnell?
I struggle with this one. I got to be honest with you because, you know, I hold a privilege license in the state, and I've held the best privilege license in this state for 20 years, since I was 21 years old. And that reg book is about 5,000 times thicker than this one. And you know what this is like. And if you can't read the WADA list, I don't know what else to tell you. It's pretty simple, especially from a very highly educated man. I don't see a communication problem here. I see 100% plus circumvention of the rule in every which way they could happen. 3 or 4 doctors, no, that's not overstated. 3 doctors, a bunch of different stuff. You know, none of it's necessarily anabolic. You know, I mean, it just goes on, and I think it's great because I don't want to wreck him either. But he's already wrecked himself with the public. And I think the first part of it was when the first test came back, we had this fertility thing, and I'm not going to doubt him on that. But then the second test came back, it was like the train wreck started.
Still don't like
you know, it's like I didn't know that there was another test that was going to come out, and there was going to be more stuff that was going to. So it just kind of keeps coming down the line. And I would like to entertain him helping us if he wants to come in and tell us how he was trying to cheat us. Not that we weren't communicating well with him, because he was flat out trying to cheat this system every which way you could go at it with 5 or 6 drugs in his system. This wasn't a 1 thing, a 2 thing. That's my opinion. And I'd like to know how other fighters are trying to get around our system as far as how they're trying to cheat us. And I think where we're starting to catch a lot of these guys is the out-of-competition testing, because they don't think it's coming. They think they can just get away with it, and then about 30 days out, we start shutting this stuff down, and we'll come in for the test the night before. I'm sorry, the night of the fight, before and after, and we're out of here. And who knows how many of them got away with that for how long until these out-of-competition tests started. So I'm interested in what you're saying, Commissioner Avancino, in the vein of come help us educate us even more on how they're trying to circumvent the rules. Because this, to me, is, you know, the last thing I'll say, I don't know what we can do it, but it's been caught once. You know, fool me once, but, you know.
Okay, first of all, part of what he's saying is fine. Of course there's a problem with this. There's people who cheat. There's people who have been proven to cheat, and they know it, who failed these tests years and years ago. That happens. Chael didn't, and he just said, you know, fool me once, shame on me, alluding to that first test. He didn't get in trouble. Why is my phone going off? He didn't get in trouble in the first test. Updating Verizon Cloud. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't want Verizon Cloud. Susan Singari is fault. Well, hi Susan, you look pretty cute. Dongle firmware updated. Slacker radio. Fuck this shit. What the hell is happening? No, I don't want all this shit on my phone. Is it fucking putting all the shit I had on my old phone? Oh, son of a whore. Open this shit up. No. I fucking games and shit that I had on there? What is this bullshit? Oh, I'm gonna have to figure that out. That's the whole point of getting a new phone, is so I don't have to put all the old shit back on there, you stupid fuck. I thought I stopped that yesterday. It fucking was it come back every 24 fucking hours? Wow, fuck, sorry, that just completely sidetracked me. I don't even know where I was. Holy cow. I'm glad. Thank you for the follow, cute girl Susan, I think your name was, because you were able to let me see that the fucking piece of shit phone is updating stuff that I don't want it to update. All right, let's go back to him. We're talking about the eluding. He didn't fail. He got in trouble for not disclosing information. That's all.
Here we go. And, you know, for this type of stuff in other sports, it's starting to turn into lifetime. It's not a year or two. It's like, don't come back. We don't want to see you back here. And I think if those messages aren't delivered as we evolve, as a commission, we're never going to truly rid ourselves. But I do know the standard that across the globe, not just in this state. That's my last 2 cents.
Commissioner Marnell. I certainly understood everything.
And I'm fine with what he fucking said. Okay? I'm fine with what he said. Where was he for Vitor? What is this bullshit? What is this? Beaming. The Samsung pre-installed beaming service has been updated. All your cards and coupons at your fingertips. Ready to scan. I'm going to have to go through this phone and figure out what some of this bullshit is, because that doesn't sound like something I want to fucking see on my phone. All share cast dongle. I don't know what the fuck that is. Yeah, I gotta figure out what some of this shit is. That's horse shit. But anyway, where was this guy's speech when Vitor was being sentenced? Where was it? Why was it just, oh, okay, yeah, Vitor, you can have your license? His levels were ridiculously high. Crazy high. He cried, and he said he loves Nevada, and now all of a sudden he can be licensed. It's ridiculous. Keith Kaiser was there. At some point, I'm going to ask my friend to see if she can hook me up with an interview. It's not going to be now, but it'll happen at some point. She's actually like really good friends with Keith Kaiser. Like he was just in town staying with them. It was a couple months ago. I would love to interview him. Not to give him shit, although I would love to hear his side of the story of the Big John McCarthy thing as to why we couldn't get Big John in there. But really just to ask questions about his thoughts on things and what it's like. I already don't like a couple things he's done over the years, and I was glad to see him go. Not if he's being replaced by this fucking guy. This guy needs to fucking look at things rationally. And that's the other thing. This guy specifically said during Vitor, when he was talking about Vitor and everything, he said he wasn't familiar with Vitor because he doesn't follow fights. What the fuck are you doing in a Combat Sport Athletic Commission panel if you don't watch fights? How does that work? I just don't get it. He's a disgruntled, never made it into the major leagues baseball player. He's probably, you know what, that might be it. Maybe he's pissed off because of, maybe he used to play with like Mark McGwire or something, and like all the people who did steroids were all like more famous than him. Maybe he did steroids and he's like guilty over it and he never got busted. I don't know. But anyway, let's go back to this horse shit.
To craft an idea for consideration that we, as you said, most eloquently, utilize him in some manner for the benefit of those who aren't so capable of understanding even our WADA list. Those individuals wouldn't be licensed probably for a gaming license. They wouldn't have the business ability. They wouldn't have the abilities perhaps to execute the regs as you did or as I have in the past. In this case, this man probably could, but there are a number of licensees.
The UFC needs to fix that buzzing. That's fucking annoying as shit. It was happening throughout the entire thing.
That aren't as capable of understanding
speak into the mics.
Our WADA list, or what they mean, or what types of drugs are prohibited or not prohibited. We've heard a lot of stories over the years. I don't want to beat it to death, Mr. Chairman. Move on, please.
No, I get what you're saying, and I agree with you completely. And this isn't the first time we've had Mr. Sonnen before us. And if you look at the schedule, this could be a third example of an issue where we've had with drug testing and with purity as a fighter who's walking into that ring. And again, it goes back to the intent. Before we knew this happened, he had the intent to step into that ring with these. And if you look at the drug panel sheet.
Did he? Did he, though? Did he? Or was the fight already off? I'm not defending what he did, just trying to make things factual.
And you look at the level of drug substances or prohibited substances, this is right up there at the top with the HGH and the EPO. So.
Well, from my perspective, the allegations against Mr. Sonnen have been proven. The complaint and claims that we have brought against him have been proven, and they've been admitted.
Oh, wait,
what we need to debate is what the consequences
Did I do the Marnell shit?
of that proof are.
Uh-oh. Did I fuck up?
And that's where I start to
ladies
get practical.
and gentlemen, is
all
why
right,
you don't
we
do
have
a show.
before us someone who, as a result of their admission...
What the fuck happened? Did I hear it?
And what you're saying,
What's today? Friday?
There's
no work.
Commissioner, I haven't seen, in the vein of, come help us educate us even more on how they're trying to circumvent the rules.
I think I heard this.
Because this, to me, is, the last thing I'll say, I don't know what we can do it, but it's been caught once, fool me once, but, here we go.
Yeah,
and,
we heard this.
For this type of stuff in other sports, it's starting to turn into lifetime. It's not
let's go to the sentencing part.
a year or two. It's like, don't come.
Where the fuck is that shit?
People
Because
do
the guy
understand.
that Chael actually talked about in his retirement
Sometimes
speech,
we had a fighter who's never
some
fought
things to
before,
say about it,
willing
too.
to go over 12 rounds.
Let me see if I can find something.
the application. So I think it's to send the message. I'm supportive of whatever.
Oh, I might have gone too far.
Well, from my perspective, the allegations against Mr. Sonnen have been proven.
It's the guy next to her that Chael mentioned. He talked about how they're friends, but he doesn't talk to him.
Include Dr. Eichner's expense within that cost of the testing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Was that would you be willing to add the cost of Dr. Eichner
Maybe
on
it comes
this?
later. Maybe we're not
You agree?
delivering yet.
Let me just say I've known Chael for a long
No,
time,
this
ever
is it.
since I've been on the commission.
This is the guy.
See him sitting here today. I like Chael Sonnen. Matter of fact, I've never seen him outside of a fight night, a ring night. If I wanted to get a hold of him, I wouldn't know how. I don't have a cell or anything like that. But I still consider Mr. Sonnen a friend. He's a person that's gone out of his way to be warm to the commission.
This is news, right? I can't get in trouble for
And
this.
little things I've asked him to help the commission on, he's always been receptive. I think he's done something wrong here today. He's a bright guy, as evidenced by his honors. And so there's consequences to that. I also believe it's probably the end of his career, especially here in Nevada. I would say it's probably the end of
He's retired.
his career.
I would probably say it's the end of his career, too.
But having said that, with the respect
usually what
that I
happens
do
in
have
retirement.
for Mr. Sonnen, and will continue to, some of your fellow fighting friends are upset with you over the drugs. I've heard their comments as I have tuned into various things, but they still profess their friendship, and I echo those same things. It doesn't affect
I wonder if we're allowed to say Brian Stan,
admiration for
if
you
they
as
really
a
made
friend
up,
person
Brian
who
Stan's
always
still a
fought.
dickhead.
I agree with Commissioner Lundvall's thinking with
I'm getting
the
bored
cost
of this guy.
of the
Where's
test,
this Marnell guy?
reimbursing Mr.
You
Reichner.
get the idea. The commission likes him, except for Marnell. They were joking with him. After the hearing, Chael went straight to Marnell. I wonder what he said to Marnell. Should have called him a fucking
That's
bitch.
my opinion. So I may be
there he
the
is.
extremist, but
Go back. That's too far. Go like...
And would support her in shaping something around that because of the respect I do have for Chael Sonnen, despite the allegations and proven and admitted things today, because we can't in the future go light on anyone with this. Matter of fact, yeah, I think in the future we need to increase our first infraction to 1 year. We really need to send a powerful message, but Mr. Sonnen now is at the end of his career. So I think what's been said here makes some sense.
On that note, I think the way Commissioner Lumbaugh laid it out, there is one I would like to have discussion about, and that's the time frame. I think this is a situation where it is different. We have not just one, but multiple theory of cocktails being consumed, and I think that could potentially lead to a dangerous situation. And I may be the Lone Ranger here and thinking more than 1 year is appropriate after hearing everything that we've heard. But I would like to have some conversation on that time period.
You're not the Lone Ranger on that, and I don't think 2 years is appropriate. I just don't. I think it's don't come back. That's my opinion. So I may be the extremist, but I just feel like that we have been robbed of the truth from the day this started, blaming it on fertility. I watched every freaking interview that happened, and in my opinion, that it's finally come out on the table, but the intent to cheat was there from the very minute he started, and I feel deceived. If it was the first time he came out and said, totally guilty, was trying to cheat, you know, anyway.
I have a friend interested in you.
As long as I sit on this commission, I cannot positively vote for this man to ever get a license in the state. But I will support you guys because I'm the new guy. But just this is a zero tolerance for me, and maybe that's because I was a professional athlete for a long time, but it just irks me.
Minor league baseball player.
You know, from my perspective, I don't have any issue about trying to lengthen this suspension. I've got a couple questions as to our power by which to say that you could never come back here. I think he goes on one more little tirade that I'm looking for, this little dickhead. Come back here again.
I'm going to try to find that. I might be wrong. I thought he did.
Superhuman powers.
There he is. Oh, yeah, superhuman powers one. That's right.
Where there's been fighters who cause ruckus, and they suspended the license indefinitely, and then...
Is there an appetite for indefinite? I know I'd be in favor of it because then it would force the applicant to come before us.
I think Commissioner Lumbaugh made a good point that now I've taken him to the woodshed, and others in society have taken him to the woodshed. Look, to support Commissioner Arnell, we always have the power to deny an application in the future. I may not be on the commission, but Arnell may be. And the fact is that you always have that power to deny the application. So I think it's to send the message. I'm supportive of whatever the will of the commission is for time. The important factor here is to utilize his talent in behalf of the commission to help others, educate others.
This is where they want him to get
our overarching goal, Chairman, as you've stated a number of times, is health and safety of our contestants. And if we can enhance that through his effort, I'm willing to give some.
About to get a foot in the face.
I would be happy to support 2 years, and I apologize to my fellow commissioners. I mean, I played baseball during the steroid era. I watched protection of men on 40-man rosters. I watched that stuff in the minor league locker room. I watched guys climb their way to the top because of that protection. I walked into rooms and got drug tested when 40-man guys didn't. And I watched the advantage they had over all of us who were fighting for our lives, having to do it the legitimate way. And I also have grave concern for fighters that get hit in the head by somebody who has superhuman powers. There's a lot of other things that go on here other than somebody just cheating. People are at risk.
Superhuman powers, ladies and gentlemen. Now he's a mutant. He's fucking Superman now because he took HGH. Again, you know what? Maybe he's just talking and trying to just talk normally with the superhuman powers thing. Maybe he doesn't watch fights. Maybe he doesn't understand how this shit works. I remember him saying in there at some point he was talking about how he had to look up all these drugs and see what they were all about. But he has all these opinions on all the things that his baseball players did. But yeah, superhuman powers. Okay, superhuman powers.
It's not the brain. We already know has a hard enough time taking the shots that it does, but now we do it with somebody who has the power of somebody who shouldn't be that. I mean, it just this goes on and on and on. This is bad. It's bad from every which angle. So I will support the 2 years. In my opinion, I'm not sure it's a strong enough message, but I'm new, and I will go with you guys and your experience. And again, I'm not trying to kick him while he's down. He's already done that to himself. is a message to the world that this is not going to be tolerated here. And I just have a much more affection for it because I've seen what it does and how it changes lives. And it does. It dramatically changes lives. It's not just Mr. Sonen's life. We don't know all the people that may have been affected or have won a fight who could have had a whole different career that maybe were clean when he wasn't. We don't know.
Where was this speech when Vitor was getting his license? Where was it? This is what bugs me the most about it is I'm watching bad shit. There's only one sport that I watch, and that's mixed. Oh, there's Bellator. I just turned on Bellator. I wonder if I only want to see one fight because I don't really know anything about Bellator. I should put on Fight Pass again too because I want to see that McGregor fight again. But I don't know. It just treat them equally. You don't say. It's just it doesn't make sense. You're worried about the fighters, so you're going to license the guy who was cheating, but you're not going to license the guy who's retired. I'm sorry, the guy who's fighting. You give him a license when he cheated, but the guy who retired, you're not going to give him shit. It just do one or the other. That's what it comes down to. There's no way I'm going to be awake for all of these fights. Oh, mute. UFC probably like scans their shit. Although I still got to break down the Fox card tomorrow. I want to see. Let's do. Well, fuck it. Let's do Conor McGregor. Maybe I'll do because I want to do a bit, and I was talking about it with Diver, where I think we're gonna watch a fight just start at the same time and just watch it. Like I'll pick a fight that. Maybe he hasn't seen it yet. Whatever the case may be. Let's watch the Zach Cummings fight. Apparently Team Darkside didn't do too well. But yeah, we'll just fucking watch it and shoot the shit while it's on or something. Because I think that would be fun. So we're going to do that. I don't know if I'm going to start it tonight since I don't want to go on much longer. I might just go on through the McGregor fight. So we got this... fight. So anyway, that's it for the hearing. I'm not going to play the commission hearing anymore. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I just don't understand whether there was a double standard. Oops, I was going to finish his speech, but I just closed it out. I don't get the double standards. Just, if you're going to be a hard ass and the commission's talking about setting an example and all these things, how do you set an example with a guy who's retired and not set an example with the guy who has cheated and been busted before and who's not retired? Like I just don't understand it. That's what I was talking about. This is the only sport that I watch. I can watch football. I played football. I'm fine with football. There's not a whole lot of sports that I can literally watch. Football is one of them, and I watch the Super Bowl. I don't watch too much else. I can't watch baseball. This is the only sport that I like. And watching all the fucking bullshit, judging and bad refereeing with late stoppages and early stoppages and bad judging, even in boxing. I watch a little bit of boxing. I will never forget that Manny Pacquiao. Oh, fuck, I'm looking at his face. I hate that I'm bad with names. I really do. Sometimes it really does suck that I'm bad with names and I can just see faces. I cannot get the names. Tim Bradley. I'll never forget that fight. It's just... There's still crookedness in there. Oh shit! How's he gonna get out of this fucking armbar? I'm watching Bellator right now. Someone's got someone in a pretty good armbar. For a minute, I was like, wait a minute, this fight doesn't end until the second round because I got the UFC fight on my computer. But anyway, that's it. Just treat everyone the same. I will. Let's talk about Fox 8. I'm not going to talk about all of them because I don't want to. I don't know the two chicks, but apparently there's a pretty big deal going on about them. I'll pick Juliana Lima, who missed the weight. That's a catchweight fight? There are a couple weird things. We'll talk about the weight. So Lima missed weight by half a pound. But they're both... we'll talk about that because there is another weight missing in there too. I forgot about that. That's right. I did hear about one of them missing weight. I'll pick, I'm going to pick the other one, the Joanna I'm going to go with her because if you're, especially for a chick, that's a lot. Even a half a pound is a lot to lose at that weight when you're a chick. They're not as big as guys are, so that's tough. So she's over. Gilbert Burns and Andreas Stahl. I'll go Gilbert Burns. I don't know who the fuck he is, but he's got a a Wikipedia page. So he's probably like someone from Bellator or Titan or something like that. I don't know where. So this guy did pull off. Did he finally get the armbar? Because the fight's over. Yeah, he did. Oh, ref, you should have been like a step closer. Steven Seiler. Oh, I'm going Gilbert Burns because he's got a fucking Wikipedia page. Steven Seiler and Noad Lahat. I don't know that guy. I'm not really all that impressed with Steven Seiler. I do, oddly enough, know who he is. Probably because he was on The Ultimate Fighter. I think he's on his way out. Let's see here. Hasn't he lost a couple? Scroll down. Yeah, he lost to Hani Jason. He lost to Dennis Bermudez. Yeah, I mean, I think he's done. And this is one of these old guy meets new guy. So I'm going with the new guy on this one just because I'm really not that impressed with Steven Seiler. Akbar Areola and Thiago Dos Santos. Don't know either one of them, but I'm going Areola because his name is Areola. That's really all I fucking need to hear. His name is Areola, ladies and gentlemen. How do you vote against that shit? You don't. You can't. Hermani Perpetuo and Tim Means. Now, I kind of know these guys. Perpetuo I've seen. I know I've seen him because I know the name. I don't remember him. Tim Means, I know the name, and I think I've seen him a few times. Let me see. Who is Tim Means? I can't look up Perpetuo, but I know I've seen Perpetuo fight, so it's a second fight, at least in the UFC, which means he very, very likely won his last one. Oh, Tim Means. Yeah, he was in the UFC a while back. That's right. Lost to Masvidal and Castillo. Then he went to Legacy, and now he's back. He lost to Neil Magny. Yeah, I mean, this is probably maybe I've seen Perpetuo. Maybe he's 1-1 or something in the UFC, because this looks like maybe a loser leaves town match. I'll go. Let's see. Tim Means. Who else has he fought? Pete Spratt. I mean, he's got a little bit of experience. I don't know about Perpetuo. I don't think he does. So I'll go Tim Means based on experience, and Perpetuo is going to wind up. If I know who he is, like I recognize his name, I don't know. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just know that name. Kyle Kingsbury and Patrick Cummins. I didn't even know Patrick Cummins was fighting on this card. And when did that happen? Like, was that like a? I swear Patrick Cummins just fought? I thought, didn't he, or no? Who am I thinking of? Pat Cummins. He just fought on June 7th. So he must be filling in for somebody. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they're just fucking going fast. Because that's only... I know he fucked up that other guy. Let's see. When did Kyle Kingsbury fight? He fought in... Oh, shit. Has he been going that long? Orbital bone. First fight back since his eye broke. Ooh. Yeah, I look, Patrick Cummins, I think he's got a lot of growing to do. I remember saying that before his Cormier fight. I wasn't that impressed with him watching a couple of his fights online. Not that he doesn't have potential, it was just, he's new. Patrick Cummins looked really fucking good in his last fight. And while I don't think this is going to be the best Kyle Kingsbury we've ever seen, I think he's at least got a name for himself, and that's going to help Patrick Cummins move up a little bit. And I don't mean move up and he's going to be top 10 or anything like that. But Kingsbury has some experience and Cummins doesn't, and that can get to you. So we'll see. There's a mental side to this too. It's not just fucking coming out and fighting. There's mental shit that goes along with it. Jorge Masvidal and Darren Cruikshank. Let's see here. How is Jorge Masvidal, Darren Cruikshank doing? Cruikshank, he just fought a couple months ago. I don't remember if he won or lost. Let's see. Darren Cruikshank. Eric Koch. He beat Rio. He beat Koch. He lost to Martins. He beat Edwards. Lost to Mac Desi, and then he beat... Oh, fuck. I remember that Henry Martinez shit. That was fucking crazy. That guy... What happened to that guy? Is he still fighting? Or is he, like, done? Oh, no, he's probably done. He hasn't fought since last May. Okay, yeah, he's probably done. Okay. All right, anyway, Darren Cruikshank, he's on an upswing. How's Jorge Masvidal doing? Beat Healy, lost to Kabilov, beat Chiesa. Oh, that's right. He beat Chiesa. That's right. Chiesa's fighting in like just over a month, isn't he? I think that's shaping up to be a hell of a card, I think, too. Yeah, you know, this will be an interesting fight to watch. I hope I'm home to watch this shit. I'm going on a scavenger hunt tomorrow. I don't know how long it lasts. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on afterwards. It starts at like 12:30, and I don't know. There's also midget wrestling in Raleigh too, and I don't know if I'm going to find my way going to that or not, because it's kind of hard to pass up midget wrestling. It's like Micro Wrestling League, I think it's called, and they do little tours. Little tours. They do little tours, and it's all midget wrestling. I can't believe I said they do little tours. It's funny. But yeah, I hope I'm home for that one, because my cable box is being replaced like early fucking morning Sunday. So DVRing it, unless I stay up really late, which I don't think I wanna, probably won't work. That's a good fight though. I'm gonna go Cruikshank on this. I like Masvidal fine too, but I'm gonna go Cruikshank. He's a dynamic fighter, and he does okay on the ground, and he's fun to watch with his strikes. I like watching him stand up. Josh Thompson and Bobby Green. Here's the deal. This explains why. See, I didn't even know he was fighting until earlier today. I saw some of the weigh-ins, but it explains why Josh Thompson was. They were talking about things he was tweeting. He tweeted something that pissed some people off. I don't know. Bobby Green, sadly, his brother was shot and killed. I believe it was shot and killed maybe 2 months ago, somewhere around there, and I don't know that his head is fully in it. That's tough. So sorry, my phone went off. I'm looking to see what this was. Yeah, now they're trying to set me up. So these people set me up on a date with this chick who is kind of crazy. She's cute. What the fuck, phone? She was cute. I think this may be your soulmate. Yeah, I'm not interested. She had a lot of tattoos. Divorced, single mom. She was fucking nuts. Like, there were just a lot of just weird, crazy shit that went on there. And it ended. I don't care about certain shit, and she should have known that. We were having a Christmas party for work, and we were going to a country club. And my bosses requested, because there's a couple other people with tattoos too that were going to be there. Well, one. Was it just one at the time? I think it was just one at the time. And there was a request to wear sleeves. So when you go to the country club, which is typically a country club policy, I don't even know if it was here or not, but when you go to the country club, you're covering up your tattoos because that's what you do. I would think if you have tattoos up and down your arms and on your legs and all over your body, that you kind of understand there's certain things that happen when you have tattoos like that. You either go to the norm and sometimes you cover them up, which seems like it would make sense, or you just don't go to certain things. Well, she got all pissed at me about how she can't believe that I would do this to her, and I don't care about her. But I was like, you know what, you're fucking crazy. But anyway, getting back to this, I'm not interested in whatever the fuck they have going on. I don't know that Bobby Green's head is fully in it. I'm sure that training has helped him, because that's got to be tough. But I'm going to go with Josh Thompson on this one, only because I think Josh Thompson had a full normal fight camp. I don't know if Bobby Green was a late replacement. That's right, and that just happened a couple weeks ago. So really, this is Bobby Green. So there you go. This is Bobby Green's first getting his feet wet since his brother died. Look, I'm pulling for him. I 100% don't see, if he loses the UFC, really counting it against him too much. And it's a good situation for Bobby Green to come back in because it gets him back in it, gets his mind off of things that he's been going through with his brother's death. If he wins, that's a good win. Ian McCall's a good fighter. That's a good win. I'm sorry, Josh Thompson is a good fighter. That's a good win. Sorry, Ian McCall was on the other screen. I got to skip past that though. But yeah, that's a good win. If you lose, look, it's your first fight back after losing your brother, and you had 13 days to train for it, or 14 days, whatever, 2 weeks. That's not a bad, thing. That's not terrible. So I hope he does well, but I got Josh Thompson on this. Clay Guida, Dennis Bermudez. This is one that could be a fight of the night. It really depends on what Clay Guida shows up. I used to love watching Clay Guida, and then it started becoming confusing if he was going to show up and fight and go crazy and shit like that like he used to, or if he was going to fucking go in there and just kind of try to survive. Dude, she loves her anime porn. What the fuck, man? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to say to that? I don't get it. Yeah, I don't fucking know what they're talking about. But yeah, I'm gonna go Bermudez only because Clay Guida's inconsistency. I don't know what's gonna happen here with that one, but I think Bermudez would. This is one of those where I think Bermudez is gonna win, but if Clay Guida does, it's not gonna be surprising. I just don't think he will, and that's again a lot of it's because I don't know how he's gonna fight. Anthony Johnson and Rogerio Nogueira. Now, I'm surprised Rogerio showed up to weigh-ins. There's still time for him to fall backstage and pull out. It looks like we might have a fight. Now, this is his first fight in, I think, a year. Let me see. Let me open his ass up. Ooh, that sounded gay. That's not the way I meant it, though. Let's see here. Because he was out for a while. This is his first fight. Oh, year and a half. So since February. Oh yeah, that's right. He beat Rashad Evans. That's right. Yeah, I mean this is another one. What Nogueira's going to show up? I mean, he's got some good performances under him, but he's got some shit performances under him too. And let's look at it. And since 2011, okay, this is his fourth fight since 2011. He had 2 fights in 2011. He lost to Phil Davis, and he beat Tito Ortiz. TKO'd him. I don't like Tito Ortiz. I think he's just a dick. I don't have too much to say about him. I never even found him really all that exciting to watch either. I think I'm in the minority there. But I would have had a lot to say about Tito Ortiz if this shit was on back then. Rashad Evans, he's another one. Who knows what's going to show up, but getting a decision over Rashad is a big deal. And then they kind of fed him to the wolf, though, with Anthony Johnson, because he's fucking on fire. It's an interesting fight because Nogueira can take punishment. Fucking both of them can take punishment. So I don't think this is going to be a really quick stoppage. But Johnson is looking really good. Probably, when's the Cormier John Jones fight? He'll probably get the next title shot because that's in what, 2 months, month and a half. So I expect him to win this fight, and he'll fight the winner of Daniel Cormier and John Jones. Gustafson's out. I don't think I've talked about that yet, but yeah, Alex Gustafson's out. I don't even know what happened, but he's out with an injury, and they pulled in DC. So we'll get some good build up for this one. But yeah, I see this being a win for Johnson, and I see him getting the next title shot. And then Gustafsson will probably be back for the winner of that one. And you got the main event, Robbie Lawler and Matt Brown. Now, hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what that noise was. Robbie Lawler. Here's the deal. I think it should have been an immediate rematch, but fine. Hendricks got hurt, and I think he had surgery on his shoulder maybe or something, and we gotta wait. So they threw this fight in. I like Matt Brown. I just finally, because I was trying to fix my cable box a little bit, I finally deleted the Matt Brown Eric Silva fight. It was just a fun fucking fight. I like Matt Brown. He's a fun fighter to watch, and he's talented. But you know what? He would be what you would call, or as Triple H would call it, I see him as being a B-plus player. He's just not on that level that Robbie Lawler's on. Now, the fact of the matter is, what the fuck was that? Some guy that's a 7-Up commercial. Some guy had a bug crawling on his arm, and he flicked it off his arm into his wife's face. That was funny. Robbie Lawler is on a different level. Matt Brown, can he get there? I don't know. How old is Matt Brown? He might, in fight years, he looks like he's about 80. Let's see here. How old is he? He's only 33. Sure, he's got time to improve, and he does improve. I just don't see it happening. I think Robbie Lawler's got this one. Now, this is in San Jose, California, this fight. That one chick missed weight, apparently. And then for the main event, the Robbie Lawler-Matt Brown fight, Matt Brown came in at 172.5. Pound and a half over. Didn't try to go with the towel, just said fuck it. He looked kind of pissed off about it. He went to Dana and started talking, but I don't know what they were talking about. I think in an interview, Dana said that he told him, I've never missed weight. I don't know what happened, but I'm going to make it backstage. We'll be fine. I can see him being a professional like that. Apparently for him and for her, the chick lost she came in at 117 and she got to 116.5. And the commission said to Matt Brown too, the commission said that we're not going to allow you to cut weight. And it's like, what? You're not going to allow him to cut weight? How's that work? And apparently not only did the commission say you can't cut weight, they're not fining them. They're not, typically when you don't make weight, you forfeit 20% of your bonus. There's no forfeiture on this one. The commission is overruling it, which is a really weird move. This is why I wish there was more information on these commissions. They had to have Twitter accounts or something that was more public, because I would like to know what the thought process was on saying, hey, you guys who came in, and you came in a pound and a half over, technically 2.5 pounds, but you get that allowance. So you came in over. We're not even going to let you have. What's the point in even having it then? Are you going to just start switching it to a 2.5 pound allowance? I can understand saying we're not going to let you continue to cut because of your health, but I don't understand the non-fine for it. It seems like at the very least there would be some kind of partial fine or something. Maybe take 15% or 10% because you didn't come in when you should have. But I don't know. Maybe we'll hear more about it, as the weekend goes on or something. Maybe there'll be a question at a press conference. Oh, this guy's getting picked apart. Sorry, I'm watching Bellator again. Let's see if the McGregor fight's on. Let's go to the McGregor fight. That should be this one. Now, I did see this one. I'm just going to watch it again. Anyway, Nick Diaz has re-signed with the UFC. Rumors have it that he will be fighting Anderson Silva Super Bowl weekend. We'll see. That's just what the rumors are. And Brock Lesnar's back in the WWE, and rumors for him because his contract with the WWE expires next year. I think probably around WrestleMania next March. I think is when it is. There's rumors that he wants to come back to the UFC after his WWE contract is up. So maybe we'll see Brock fight again. I tell you what, I don't dislike him as much as I used to. I understand him a lot more. So let's see here. Brandow's got him clinched up against the cage. The thing about this that I remember watching, Conor McGregor. Oh, I wanted to see the beginning of that. Where am I? 408? Hold on. There's talk about the whole hand touching thing, and I didn't see that. Hold on. Did they show him nod his head no, like he wasn't going to touch hands? That's what I'm looking for. go back a little bit. He came out with his hand extended like he was going to touch hands. Oh, no, Brandao shook his head no. Oh, yeah, okay. So it wasn't Conor McGregor. I thought it was McGregor. So everyone's talking about that. It was Brandao. Everyone's saying that Conor McGregor cheap-shotted him because of the glove-touching incident. Brandao's the one that blew it off. I don't feel like skipping back forward. I was only like a minute into it, so I'm just going to watch it again. But anyway, the thing of it is, like I said, that was a nice shot. There's mental to this. People can psych themselves out. Shit, it apparently happened to Stefan Struve. He didn't even make it to the cage. He had a panic attack. You gotta have your mind right when you're doing stuff like this. And this is Conor McGregor's biggest fight. Still not even a top 15 opponent, and somehow he's cracked the top 10. I think his mouth has gotten him, his mouth has gotten him a lot, because now all of a sudden he's in a top 10 by beating Diego Brandao. But it's a big fight. Brandao is an okay fighter. He does have explosive power, knockout ability, but he's main eventing in his hometown. That's gotta play with your head a little bit, and he stayed very calm. He didn't get. Sorry, I was making it big screen. He didn't get sloppy. He kept everything. He didn't get impatient or anything else, things that can happen. He stayed very calm. I wonder how loud this sounds. Let's see here. It's pretty loud. So I was impressed with that. He kept his cool throughout the whole fight. There was no rushing. It was all calculation. I still don't know how good he is. He's managed to get himself a fight with Dustin Poirier lined up. That'll be a really big fight for him. That's going to be this is when we find out what McGregor's all about. Dustin Poirier is a solid fighter, and he's a vet. This is, he's a big step up in competition as far as all around. Look, like I said, Brandao's explosive. He's got knockout power. Anyone who's in the UFC is a good fighter. Doesn't matter. Just sometimes some are better than others and on different levels. But you're a good fighter. So he's got skills, or he wouldn't be in the UFC. Anything can happen. But we're not talking, Dustin Poirier is on a whole nother level. Now McGregor was talking about how he was going to get a title shot with a win over Brandao. I don't know what he's talking about there. But he did a nice job. He's doing a good job staying calm and keeping his balance and not falling into traps from Brandao now on the ground. He's doing nicely. Nicely? Would it be nicely? I think it would be nicely. He's doing well. So I'm really looking forward to that Dustin Poirier fight. Just because that'll be really interesting. I don't think he's fought outside of Ireland yet either. I don't know that for sure. I'd have to look it up. But I feel like maybe he's got one fight outside Ireland. I don't know. Maybe he does. But he's fighting in the States, I think, on this one, Dana said. It's lined up. I don't know what event. That was a good shot. Yeah, see, he's staying calm. He's just moving slowly with Diego. He's not just throwing stuff just to throw stuff, which is good. He's not. He's doing a pretty good job, and Diego's throwing some shots right now too. That's one thing that Diego has probably over most of them, because he's only like 3 feet tall or something. He's got a lot of power. There's a lot of muscle in there. He's got him up against the cage. Oh, that was a good shot right to the temple. And that's I think this is when it ended. He's just sitting there. You can't just cover your face and not move your body. He must have been hurt from that temple shot pretty good. All right, well, this is way longer than I was planning on doing. Holy fuck. Yeah, I'm getting the fuck off of here. I'm going to go shoot some people on my PlayStation and go to bed and see what the fuck this scavenger shit is all about tomorrow. What's next weekend? I think this is the last fight for a while. I don't know. We'll figure that out too. But, I don't know. Have a good one. I'll see you motherfuckers later. See ya!